Jaya Radha Mandava Kunjam Bihari Jaya Radha Mandava Kunjam Bihari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jayorada Madhava Kunjam Bihari Jaya Radha Mandava Kunjam Bihari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Mandava Kunjam Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Radha Gopinatha, Radha Gopinatha, Radha Gopinatha, Shri Radhe. Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Haribol. Can everybody hear me? Yes? Okay, that's good. So, we're reading this morning from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 14 and text number 37. Prapancham nishprapanchopi Prapancham nishprapanchopi Vidambayasi bhutale Vidambayasi bhutale Prapanna janatananda Prapanna janatananda Sandoham pratihum prabho Sandoham pratihum prabho Prapancham nishprapanchopi Vindambayasi bhutale Prapanna janatanandam Sandoham pratihum prabhu. Please someone. Prapancham, that which is material. Nishprapancha, completely transcendental to material existence. Api, although. Vidambayasi, you imitate. Bhutale, on the surface of the earth. Surface. Prapannam, who are surrendered. Janata, of people. Ananda Sandoham, the great variety of different kinds of ecstasies. Prathitum, in order to spread. Prabho, O Master. Translation. My dear Master, although you have nothing to do with material existence, you come to this earth and imitate material life just to expand the varieties of ecstatic enjoyment for your surrendered devotees. That's very, very nice verse. I will read commentary of Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur to this verse. Something that the Purna Brahma, becoming the son of Nanda Maharaj in Vraja, cannot be real or absolute, and that the devotees who accept this are in illusion. In a reply to this, Brahma recites this verse. Though you are always beyond the influence of material nature, you are ever situated within the material world. You assume forms and relationships similar to those found in the material world. But your relationships are not false and temporary like those of material fathers and sons. Your forms and relationships are completely transcendental and eternally existing. Though your pastimes are eternal and transcendental, they appear similar to material activities. Why do you need to imitate material activities? You appear in the material world to further increase the bliss that your devotees taste from relishing your pastimes. Just as a lamp does not shine as brightly in the sunlight as it does in the shade, or as a diamond does not look as brilliant on a silver platter as it does on the plate of blue glass, Govinda's pastimes do not appear as astonishing in Vaikuntha as they do in the material world. Translation again. My dear Master, although you have nothing to do with material existence, you come to this earth and imitate material life just to expand the varieties of ecstatic enjoyment for your surrendered devotees. Om Maganata Mirandasya Giranjana Shalakaya Chaksham Mahanama Vishnu Varaya Krishna Vrishta Amalish Indranima Swami Timne Nama Prabhupada Breda Yes. It's very, very nice verse, very deep verse. And it tells us why Krishna comes here to the material world. Of course, we can look at it from all kinds of, all angles of view, why Krishna comes here, and each of them will be true. As Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur writes here, he is absolute. So whatever he does is absolute, is perfect. We don't have any experience of in this material world of something that is absolute. No. Absolute means it is always true. Whatever circumstances, whatever you take, it should be always a true. No? So there is nothing in the material world that can be true in any circumstances, right? Or you have some example. Mathematics, 1 + 1 is always 2, right? And just imagine, you take an eyedropper and make 1 drop of water, and you add another drop of water to that. How many drops you will have? Nothing is here that is absolute. Yeah. Krishna is always absolute in everything what he does. So we can look at his pastimes, and he's coming here from many different angles. But I think this is one of the most intimate and most true, most absolute true reasons why Krishna comes here. Because he can enjoy pastimes here in this material world in so many more varieties than in spiritual world. First of all, in the spiritual world, he is always around 16, right? He's always a teenager, with all the teenagers' dramas and stuff like that. But here, he is a baby. He appears first as a baby. Yeah. So, yeah, his pastime as a baby and his connection as his rasa with the devotees as a baby has totally different quality than in a spiritual world. Yeah. First of all, he has to be protected. Yeah. He's a baby, right? And Mother Yashoda doesn't think, oh, that's a god, let's let him be. He will grow. No. She always is busy with Krishna, even when Krishna was just a little boy. When he was crawling, you have experience of babies crawling, maybe some of you. One of my daughters, she just, from sitting, she just started to walk. But the other one, she was crawling. And you cannot imagine how quick are those babies. They're just like, you just lose sight of them and they go under the chair and under the bed. And it's just like, like every now and then, hey, where is Satya? Okay, there. And every mother knows if you hear the baby, it's good. But when there is quiet, then you have to really be concerned of what is going on. So the same with Krishna, and suddenly he started to crawl. And he was even quicker. And there were two of them. There were also Balaram, more or less the same age. And as soon as they started to move and crawl, it is said, Sanatana Goswami describes in his, what is called the book? Brihat Vaishnava Toshani, yes, that's the title. He described that Krishna and Balaram, they were always playing with animals that had horns or that had fangs, like snakes, or with birds. And not just any birds, Sanatana Goswami writes, peacocks. And we think about the peacocks as very nice birds, very, very nice looking and so on. But peacocks are very intense birds. Their food is snakes, actually. So their body is meant for fighting snakes. They're very sharp, what is it called, talons? Yeah. And the beaks are very, very sharp, very, very, and they are very quick. So you never mess up with a peacock if you have one. They're very intense. They can attack you and very dangerous. Like in New Vrindavan, there were peacocks are sitting. Someone, I was there. They're always sitting on the stairs or somewhere. You have to go really bit around because they can just attack you and then pick out your eyes or something. Have to be. Everybody was telling me, just careful about peacocks. Go a little bit around, like that. So Krishna and Balaram, they were playing with those. And they were Sanatana Goswami writes, they were putting their hands in the mouths of dogs and bulls and cows. And they were catching snakes. And sometimes Krishna would just come and just pulling snake by the tail to Mother Yashoda. And Mother Yashoda, she had no peace at all. She was always running, where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? What is he doing? And she was always in anxiety. And she was always complaining to her friends that I have no peace. I cannot make my household duties because I always have to look after Krishna. And in the way, Krishna was telling her, just forget all that. I'm here. I'm the most important person. Why you need to sweep the floor? Just leave it as it is. You take care of me. So, yeah, they were going to the what do you call it, stall, like cow, with the cow shed, and it is said that they had fun always, like the catching the tails of the calves. And when you, I don't know if you have experience, but when you catch a calf or a cow by a tail, they get really scared, especially calves. So Krishna was catching them and Balaram, and the calves starting to run, and they were dragging Krishna and Balaram in the mud. And sometimes Krishna was standing like water ski, and just driving around behind the cow, behind the calf. And it is described that Krishna and Balaram, they were always covered with mud and cow dung and cow urine. So imagine a God, the God from Christianity who sits on the throne, and so important. Yeah. And in Goloka Vrindavan, that is not possible to have those pastimes. And it is even said that sometimes Krishna caught two cows at once, and they were like running, or trita, and they were like running different directions. So he was like flying in the air and so on. And Mother Yashoda, of course, knew where she is supposed to look for little Krishna. So she always, when she didn't see him, so she went to the cow shed. And once she came there, very quietly, wanted to see what Krishna is doing. And it is mentioned in Krishna and one of his friends, it doesn't say which one, but it mentions that he had Sikha. So at least we know about one friend of Krishna who has Sikha. There's Madhumangal. Yeah. So it is said exactly at the time when the Mother Yashoda came there looking for Krishna, he was tying the Sikha of his friend to the tail of the calf. And Mother Yashoda said, "Krishna, what are you doing?" And it was too late. The calf was already running away, and Madhumangal had his pastime. He got his part in the mud and the cow dung, like that. So that the Mother Yashoda had no peace. And when Krishna was a little bit bigger, then he expanded his pastimes to other households. And it is described so many times that Krishna was just going to different houses and stealing butter and yogurt. And sometimes he couldn't steal, or he stole the yogurt, a pot with yogurt or butter, but he was just so full, so he just broke it. And just left it there, like that. So then when he was a little bigger, the pastimes of this Vatsalya Rasa, it expanded to all other households in Vrindavan. So Krishna, every morning, immediately after the sunrise, he was just disappearing from Nanda Maharaj's place. So of course Mother Yashoda was looking for him everywhere. But Krishna was not there. Because what he was doing, he was going to other places. And his favorite pastime at this time was that he was going to the sheds of the cowherd boys, cowherd men, the all the gopas, and he was unbounding all the calves, and every cowherd man knows that you shouldn't untie the calf before you milk the cow. Normally the system is that actually you untie the calf for a moment so the calf can drink some of the milk, and then you just tie the calf near to the mother, and then you milk the cow. So then you can have milk, otherwise the calf would drink a lot, and it's also not so good for calves to drink too much milk. So, especially the older calves, then they're supposed to actually eat already grass and only little milk. But Krishna had his plan. So exactly before milking time, he was going to those places and untying all the calves. And of course the calves were running to the cows, and he also untied the cows sometimes. So the cows was also running away then, and the cowherd men and the gopis, they were just running behind the cows. The whole hawk, all the servants running, catching, trying to tie them again. And then this time, Krishna was going peacefully in the house. And he had enough time to look for the butter and ghee. And then the gopis were coming to Mother Yashoda and complaining, your Krishna comes to us and he unties the calves, and he creates total chaos here. It's like, we have no peace. We cannot milk our cows and so on. And the Mother Yashoda was saying, okay, well, maybe you should, get some people who watch the calves, so that Krishna cannot just sneak in and do his work. But the gopis were saying, no, but we have so much to do in the morning always, and all the servants are busy and we are busy. We have no time to do that, And Mother Yashoda said, well, maybe he's helping you in that way, And the gopis were saying, no, he's just creating disturbance, and everything is topsy-turvy the whole day, because he always comes and do such stuff. Well, so Mother Yashoda says, well, maybe there is some cause why he does that. He's just a boy, but maybe there's a reason. And the gopis were always, no, he's just creating problems, and then he is even coming to our houses and stealing all the yogurt. And Mother Yashoda was saying, well, maybe you should hide it better. Well, we try. We find always new places and new ways to protect our yogurt, but he always finds new ways to steal it. No, we have no chance actually against him. He's such a rascal, And then even if we manage to hide the yogurt and butter, still he comes, and if he cannot find anything, and he stands there like very angry, and he tells, tomorrow morning I will come with a torch and I will burn this place down. And then he runs away and we cannot even catch him. So we live all the time in anxiety. Like what can we do? And Mother Yashoda said, well, maybe you chastise him. You scream at him. You get angry. And the gopis were saying, yeah, but it doesn't work. He's just laughing and running away. No, he's not infected, inflicted by our harsh words. He doesn't care at all about what we say. And Mother Yashoda said, maybe we punish him in some other way. Well, we also tried that. This one morning, he came and untied all the calves, and we were running, and finally we caught all the calves and cows. And then we went to our home, and then he was sitting there and eating butter and yogurt. I was just looking at us. And then we really wanted to catch him and beat him up. And we all were there from our household. And then we were walking to him, and then he just smiled. And he smiled in such a sweet way that we just were stunned, and we couldn't do anything. And he was just smiling and just eating like that. And we couldn't do anything. Yeah. So then Mother Yashoda was saying, well, maybe just let him eat. And then when he is full, then he'll just leave you alone. And then they said, but he is never full. He is eating and eating, And even if he has enough, then he breaks the pots and gives everything to the monkeys. And sometimes he just gives everything to the monkeys. He doesn't even try it. We try to give him some. But then he says, I don't want that one. And he was giving immediately to the monkeys. It seems that he likes to steal it. He doesn't like when we give him something to eat. Yeah. Yes. So Mother Yashoda said, so maybe you just keep some of the yogurt that he can steal, and the rest you just keep hidden. And the gopis were saying, no. He always goes for this special milk and special butter that we prepared for our husbands. That is the best milk, the best cream. And he always goes for this. He doesn't take that what we leave for him out. He looks for the best that we prepared for our husbands. No? And Sanatana Goswami comments on that because he says, Krishna is a husband of everyone. So if gopis prepare something for their husbands and they think, oh, that's for my husband. I make it with love and so on. And Krishna thinks, oh, they do it for me. So I have to take it. So he is looking for that. And in Vrindavan, everything is so much full of love. He doesn't wait till we chant the mantras, Namo Brahmana Devaya Go, and ring the bell. He just feels it. And it is said that the gopis, when they prepare food, they always chant. They always sing about Krishna. You know? So the consciousness is always there. It's like, I'm doing this for Krishna. Wow, I'm cooking, I'm churning yogurt, or butter, churning yogurt to make butter, like that. But they always sing about Krishna, about those of the Krishna. It's not like we, we have a call, and there's some children, and do something else during cooking, right? Some Mataji in Heidelberg, when she was cooking for deities or for the devotees always, and she had so many things to do on the side, like calling, and we didn't have the handies with all this nice sets, so she had to have the phone with the, we had the thing here, and speaking and cooking, and I was like, what is that, But, well, that was her nature. I don't know, maybe she needs some action. Yeah. So sometimes we do like that, or we think, hopefully our children will eat this what I cook, and we don't meditate about children. But gopis in Vrindavan, they don't do that. They just all the time chant. And even what they chant, they don't, like now in the whole material world and Vaikunthas, they chant the name of Krishna, but they chant it in a different way. Like Govinda Madipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. They said, the Govinda, you are the Adipurusha, you are the highest God, right? And so on. They pray to him. But gopis, they don't chant like Govinda Madipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. No, they don't chant like that. What they chant? Hey Krishna, Hey Yadava, Hey Saketi, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Right? That's the song of the gopis. They chant, the most attractive son of Yadu dynasty, our dearest friend. You bound us to you, Damodara, you bound us to you by completely satisfying our senses and our minds with your sweetness. Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. So they are totally bound to Krishna by his sweetness. And he just smiles, and they are overwhelmed with the love, with affection, with the motherly affection to Krishna. And once even one gopi tried to do some very elaborate arrangement. So she put all the pots with the yogurt and so on really high on the robes like that, and she put bells everywhere. She places bells everywhere on the robe and on the pots. And she said, okay, now when Krishna will be coming here, I will catch him. So then Krishna came there, and she wanted to steal the butter, and he saw, that is something strange here. If I touch that, the bells will ring, and maybe they will catch me. That's not good. They will bring me to Mother Yashoda. But as Sanatana Goswami writes, Krishna is Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan. But sometimes he remembers that he is actually God. So he just told the bells, you don't ring. And then he put everything down, and then the pots were there, and he took one handful of the butter and started to ring, and all the bells started to ring. And Krishna was like, what are you doing? And the bells told them, well, not our fault. The Bhagavan is eating, and everybody knows when Bhagavan is eating, you ring the bell. So we have to bring now. And then the gopi came, and she saw Krishna, and then Krishna had to run away again. Like that. And once the Nandas, Madharajas, Upanandas, also brother of Nanda Maharaj, his wife, what's her name? Padmavati Gopi. Yes. She thought, it is really too much. We always go to Mother Yashoda and complain about, Krishna. But she always say, well, I ask him if he's doing that, and he says no. So, why should I believe you? My boy, he never lies. you know. So, if you're sure that it is him, not someone else, you need to catch him and bring him to me. So that Padmavati Gopi made really whole plan how she catches Krishna. Okay? And somehow or other she succeeded. She came up behind the cart and somebody just caught Krishna and said, ha, now I have you. Right? Now I'll bring you to Mother Yashoda and I caught you red-handed here. You will see. And Krishna was crying and saying, no, please don't do that. I said, no, I'm doing it. I have enough. So she was dragging him there and he didn't want to go, like children do. So the Padmavati Gopis thought, okay, this is really embarrassing, I'm dragging Krishna here like that. Let me cover him. So she took her chadar and put on the Krishna on his head, and then she was dragging him, and she came to Mother Yashoda, and he was screaming, Mother Yashoda, now I have a proof here. Please come and look. And Mother Yashoda thought, wow, what's going on? And everybody from the house came, and all the servants, and Nanda Maharaj, And then Padmavati Gopi was saying, now I caught Krishna here stealing my butter. Okay? Look. And she took the chadar off. And when she took the chadar off Krishna, then everybody started to laugh, And she was like, what's going on? And then Mother Yashoda said, Padmavati, when Krishna does something wrong, you catch him and you bring him here. Okay? But when your little boy does something wrong, you need to punish him, not me. And Padmavati Gopi looked there, and there was her son, her little son, which was, holding by the hand. And she was like totally confused, like, what? And she became so embarrassed and red, and she didn't say anything, just went out of the home. And after some distance, Krishna transformed her back to his original form, I told her, you see? You don't do with me like that. And the next time, I will transform myself in your husband. And then you will get some. So that Padmavati Gopi was, just let him go. She was afraid. Like that. And and Krishna was, she had all this pastime of this Vatsalya Rasa pastimes, also with his servants and so on. So everybody could take part when Krishna was little in these pastimes. And even once Mother Yashoda was keeping, Danishta. This was Danishta is the servant in the house of Mother Yashoda, of Krishna, of Nanda Maharaj. And she was holding Krishna on her hands. And then Mother Yashoda came and said, Gopal, the gopis complain that you steal the butter. Did you steal the butter? And Gopal said, yes, I did some. And how much did you steal? And then Krishna took a breast of Danishta in his hand and said, this much. So he plays all kinds of pastimes there. He's a little rascal. And there's so many pastimes like that. And there's another very interesting pastime is, what the extortion is? It's like what mafia does. The mafia comes to the owners of the shops and tell, you give me money, then I will not do anything to you. You are protected. Okay? There's like a big thing with the mafia. They get a lot of money from that. So it seems that it was actually invented in Vrindavan. The Krishna is source of everything. So when the gopis were complaining so much to Mother Yashoda about his activities, and Krishna went once to the gopis and told them, especially the one gopi, and I told them, okay, look, if you pay me off, if you give me butter like that, willingly, as much as I want, then I will not be coming here and stealing and breaking your pots. So the gopi said, well, okay, we have a deal. And she brought big pot of butter, a really big pot. She could hardly carry it. And she started to pour the butter in Krishna's hands. And he had just these little hands, like that. And she was pouring the butter and pouring, and Krishna was just standing there. And there was like nothing there in his hands. It was just very little, So the gopi was like sweating and pouring more butter and more. And finally pot was empty. And, she was looking at the pot. And Krishna was like, look, there's almost nothing. You didn't give me anything, So the gopi said, okay. And she brought another pot like that. And finally she got some other gopis. She called for some other gopis from the houses around. And everybody of them was coming with the pots of butter, pulling Krishna's hands. And he was just standing there. I was like, no. what? So, and they're always like sweating, and then like finally they gave up. He says, I don't know what is going on here. We don't have any butter anymore. And Krishna said, it will not work like this. I have to steal then. And he was and ate everything at once and then ran away, leaving gopis totally confused. So. So nothing worked with Krishna, and even then, like when the gopis finally surrendered, okay, that's what Krishna does. So they allowed him to come, and you just steal anyway. I cannot hold you back. And Krishna didn't like so much that kind of pastime, So then he was getting angry, and sometimes he just passed stool or urine on the floor, and even when said he was passing urine in the most sacred places, which means the place where the gopas and gopis were making their puja, the temple room and something like that. And Sanatana Goswami comments on that because Krishna didn't want that gopis or gopas, they worship someone else, maybe Indra or maybe Shiva for protection. Or we know that Nanda Maharaj even worships Nishimhadev, that Nishimhadev protects his Gopal and like that. So indirectly, Sanatana Goswami said, Krishna doesn't pass urine, he doesn't produce anything unclean like that. But for the sake of the gopis, he manifested this quality in himself, and he was going to the sacred rooms, and he was indirectly telling them, all these activities, worshipping someone, trying to take shelter of somebody else than me, I kind of like piss on it. He was giving them a message like that. And sometimes then he was going to the babies of those gopis and he was like pinching them, and so that they were crying. And sometimes he took a bucket of water and just put over the babies like that. So the babies were like, oh my God, crying and screaming. And it is said that Krishna was enjoying that. Because why those babies were crying? Not because they were afraid. They're in Vrindavan. There's no fear there. So they were not afraid, or they were not shocked because they were nicely sleeping and they got a bucket of water in their face. This can happen to us when we try. If you ever lived in the boarding school, then you have experienced probably such activities. You will get surprised from your mates there, right? But in Vrindavan there is no fear, there is no shock. So why the babies were crying actually? They were crying because they realized Krishna was there. And I cannot move. I'm a baby. And Krishna just touched me, he pinched me, and he ran away. And I cannot move, I cannot go with him. And they were crying like anything. And that was Krishna, what Krishna was enjoying so much, because he heard these crying voices, and he knew they're crying for me. You know? That's how Krishna gets attracted to us. Like we cry for him. Like, I have no other shelter, and Krishna is here, and I cannot reach him. I cannot go with him. Right? So I cry. You know? Like Prabhupada says, this chanting of Hare Krishna mantra is like a crying of a baby, of a child, right? For her mother. You know? So that's how we cry for Krishna with our full heart. Like, Krishna, you just there, and I'm so much covered with all the material stuff, and I just cannot get you. You know. And then when you really cry for him, then Krishna may come and pinch you again. Yeah. So these are the activities in Vatsalya rasa. We don't hear much about that. We don't hear actually much about all kinds of pastimes of Krishna, like pastimes of Chandravali, right? Or pastimes of Balaram, which are amazing, or other pastimes of Vatsalya rasa. No, we don't hear so much of that in our movement, because most of our acharyas, they were manjaris, so they are in this manjari bhava, and we know so much about Radharani, right? And about pastimes of Krishna and Radharani, and the connection and the mood and so on. But all other rasas, we don't know so much. So sometimes it is important, to hear about the other rasas, because we have all kinds of the devotees here, in our movement. Not only, from Radharani's wing, we have also some other wings. And maybe we have some gopis from Balaram, or cowhead boys from Balaram, and so we need to speak a little bit more about all this also. What are the pastimes of those forms and those devotees with Krishna in Goloka Dham and in Gokula Vrindavan. That's, as we know from this, as we hear from this verse, that's why Krishna comes. Because he can be a little boy. And little boys that are always very, very naughty, and then they can do anything. They can run, they do. When you're a teenager, it's already a little bit, that's a different mood, right? You're a little bit self-conscious and like, I shouldn't do that, I shouldn't. You have your duties, when you're older. But little children, they have no duties. They can just go everywhere and anywhere and do whatever. And when we hear about those pastimes, that we can, actually appreciate the Gokula Vrindavan, why Krishna actually comes here. Because we hear so much from Krishna book and from everywhere else, there's so much trouble in Vrindavan when Krishna appears. All the demons are coming. And there's this heat in the summer, and there's this raining season, and so on, and it's a little bit difficult. And Srila Prabhupada describes it in the Krishna book. And then, even if everything is quite good, then Krishna leaves at the end. Krishna leaves Vrindavan, and he goes away. So, sometimes we may think like, I don't want to do that, Like Prabhupada said, we may take birth if we don't finish our training yet in this body. So we be Krishna conscious but not yet fully trained, then we have to take birth in Gokula Vrindavan, in the material world where Krishna already appears there, and finish our training. So when I heard it, personally, when I heard it first time, I was like, I don't want to do that. Again, taking birth in this material world, And the devotees were like, but with Krishna. I was like, no. I was like, no, I really don't want, But then with the time, when you realize actually how sweet the pastimes of Krishna in this material world are, you may actually get even more attracted to those pastimes than to the other ones in the Goloka Vrindavan. Yeah. So that actually may help us to concentrate on Krishna and relationship to Him, and can make us even much more focused, on Krishna, and we can get much more feelings, because sometimes we don't have this experience of like real love in this material world, or our heart was broken so many times. We fall in love, and then we get broken heart, and again we tried, and after some time it's just no, I don't want love. I want to love anymore. No, I just close my heart, and it's too much. Because we don't have such a experience such as pure love here. But many of us can get the experience of two babies. The babies, they will not break our heart. When they grow later, maybe, but but as a babies, they are just there, and it's sweet, and and babies are and small children. They are totally loving. They're like pure love. There are some demoniac babies also, but anyway, we can leave them outside. Yeah, but usually the babies, they are full of love. They're just spreading, like shining the love. So at least this experience you can have a little bit, like, oh, this is like what love means, And then you can relate this, okay, that could be like with Krishna, When I'm the older gopi, maybe I'm not in Radharani wing, but I'm older gopi, so I can have this relationship with Krishna, with little Krishna, like that. So we can meditate about that, and we can, use whatever material experience we have in this world, and we can try to transfer it to relationship with Krishna. Anything positive that happens in this world, like anyway, everything comes from Krishna, and Prabhupada writes that whatever love is we experience in this material world, it comes actually from Krishna. It's because Krishna loves us, therefore we can experience love in this material world. So any positive experience in this material world, we can take it actually and transfer it to experience with Krishna, and that's how we can actually start to develop relationship with Him, using whatever we have here. Okay, it seems I spoke pretty long. Maybe some questions or comments? No?
I like to steal fruits also when I was a little boy. It was such an excitement to jump on the wall and get the fruit and run away.
Yes.
Shouting after me, so I can imagine.
We did it too, yes. and the funny thing is, there were these cherries, a huge, huge, tree of cherries, And you could actually go to the guy and ask him. He would say, yeah, because he didn't care for those cherries. He was old, But we didn't go and ask. We just go on the tree and look, is he coming? That was Daji?
So does that mean that devotees who are attracted to baby Krishna, they always give birth in material world?
No. I mean, ultimately, I'm not sure. I never found if all of us have to take birth in material world again. I mean, in Gokula Vrindavan. But those who still, they didn't develop their full svarupa, so to say. Like who you are in the spiritual world, but it's not yet fully manifested in your life, so to say. Then you need to finish training. You have to get birth in Gokula Vrindavan. Like in the Krishna book, it's also written on Srimad Bhagavatam, that there were the gopis who the Krishna was calling the gopis for Rasa Lila. They couldn't come because their husbands, they kept them behind. And it is said, it is described that those were those gopis who just came from material life, so to say. That was their first birth in Krishna's pastimes. And they were not yet fully ready to be there with Krishna. So they actually, some of them, they actually gave up their bodies with the longing for Krishna, to be with Krishna, and that's purified them totally then. And then they could take birth as regular gopis, so to say, in Goloka Vrindavan. So that's for sure happens when we are not fully trained, not fully ready to be in Goloka Vrindavan. Like that. So we need to take birth again in this material world. But if everybody does it again and again, I don't know. I never found any description about that. Of course, all those main gopis, main gopas, they always come with Krishna. They go from one universe to other. What is with the others? I don't know. No, if everybody from spiritual world have to always come here with Krishna. Maybe sometimes only, sometimes Krishna needs someone to take with him. But I cannot tell you 100% how it is. Mother Yashoda always sees Krishna as her baby, always. Even if she visits him on Kurukshetra, when he is, a prince with all the paraphernalia and stuff, she still sees him as her little boy, and the milk is flowing from her breast and like that. She takes him on her lap, and for her he's always little, and she always brings him food. She always looks that Krishna has food in his hands. If he doesn't, then he will get hungry. Yeah, in our material world, usually those are the grandmothers. They always, you will be hungry. Here's some food. So she always sees him in this way. And it's just that when he is here and he is actually little, it's so much more sweet. This relationship is just much more nectarian, so to say, because he is actually little then. Yeah.
I really like this part of the pastime when you said that Krishna was pinching the babies so that they would cry out of frustration that they cannot be with him. So I was thinking how Krishna is sometimes pinching us to, through different activities in this material world, to become more eager to actually turn to him rather than trying to find solutions here, so that we become more creative, eager, and maybe if you could say something about this, developing this eagerness and greed to really be with Krishna, because many times we say we should become really our practice is to become a mode of goodness and detached, but this eagerness which really we have to actually create something very different.
Yes, the mode of goodness is not enough. No. It's just not enough. You can actually get conditions very easily in mode of goodness, because everything is easy and sublime, pure life, and therefore, Krishna says that those who are really dear to him, he takes everything away from them. He also takes the mode of goodness away, like that. So, yes. Just trying to find the... You see, the first time you really turn to Krishna, that's really the time that he starts to be there for you. Right? And for some of us, it can be even when you were a young bhakta and you had this, pure feeling in your heart that finally I'm here with Krishna, and you get this feeling, yes, now I'm never leaving him. Yeah? Or maybe after many, many years in Krishna consciousness. But once you have really this point that you turn to him, okay, he will be always there. And then, when he sees that we forgetting, we turning away, then he will be pinching you to wake you up. Okay, and this pinching can be quite painful. Okay, because he will see, oh, you're forgetting me. No, you're doing something else. You're not supposed here. And he takes away, everything. He can take away your health, your wealth, your friends, your spouse, your children, anything. The more stubborn you are in your ways, the more he will take away. And that. So, why he does it? He does it actually for the reason that you finally understand there is nothing in this material world for you. And when you suffer so much, there where you start to feel like, I have enough of that. I was like, I'm done. Okay? And that's where you start really longing for something else, for Krishna, because you have the knowledge. Okay? The materialist, they will be longing for the ending of the life, or money, or whatever, okay, or some other type of sense gratification that they didn't experience till now. Okay, but for devotees, no, that's where we get is like, there is nothing for me here. So what am I doing here? Just leave it all and just focus on Krishna. Just go to him. So that's how this longing actually really starts to be very strong. Okay? So the quicker we develop this longing, also without heavy beats, heavy beating on our head, the easier it will be for us. But if we hold to whatever it is, we have so many upadhis, every one of us. Oh, I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm advanced devotee, I'm a pujari, I'm a mother, I'm a father. We have so many upadhis. We cling to them, we holding to them. Then Krishna has to somehow open our hands. And sometimes it is very painful. Yes. So the easier we understand it and the quicker we understand it, the easier it will be for us also. And Krishna will be just giving us the nectar. Like, okay, she understood or he understood. Okay, so here is more taste and more taste. Yeah. And also, he will not give you like 100%. Don't worry about that. He will give you just enough to let you go, but you want more. So that you always want more. Yeah? Even there is always nava, everything is more and more. But Krishna just gives us this much that we need to keep going. And there is more and I want more. Then he gives you again. Like that.
So, can I say something? So then we have to trust that we will always have enough.
Yes. We have always enough anyway.
Yes.
It's not, we don't have enough as much as we want usually. Okay?
Yes.
But we have always enough.
Depends on the needs.
Even you give up everything and you go on the street and live on the street and just beg, you will have anyway enough.
Yes.
Okay? You will not die of hunger usually. Krishna will take care. If you're supposed to die, then you will die. But otherwise.
But then you also will die when you have everything.
Yes. Also when you have everything and you're a billionaire and you also die.
Steve Jobs, he was a bit young.
Yeah.
He was only 60 something.
Yes. We are used to this consciousness of lacking. It's not enough. especially young devotees. There's not enough prasadam. Yeah, we all have been there, I think. No? You come to the Sunday feast and all the sweets are gone. It's like, oh! Yeah, but after some time in the Krishna consciousness, well, I eat rice. It's healthier anyway. Yeah. Go, Govina.
You were mentioning how sometimes we can perceive Krishna's pastimes in this world like chastising the demons and different other pastimes as unpleasurable or unattractive to us. Can you explain how is it that these pastimes can help us actually letting go of different anarthas which these demons represent?
Well, if you study exactly what the demons represent, then you can look in your heart if you have those demonic qualities also in you. Like let's say like a keshi, you know. What is the keshi? What is the contamination that he represents? It's the pride, pride of being a guru, someone who knows, who is better than others, like that, you know. So Keshi comes to Vrindavan, is like, I'm the best, I'm the loudest, I can speak the loudest, you know, and he's, what is called, wooing, making noise and like that. And so you can look for the quality of, if you have such a quality, like, I want to always be on the top, I want to tell everybody what to do, I want to manage everyone, and so on. Now we can look, okay, do I have such a quality? Maybe I should give it up, maybe I should work on that, maybe I should ask someone, So those demons, not the demons per se, but the descriptions of the qualities that they represent, like Bhaktivinoda Thakur described all that. It may help us to study our own contaminations, our own heart, and see what we still have to do, what we have to be purified, like that. And then if we don't see it, then Krishna comes and just do it, like with Keshi, what Krishna did, the first thing, he just put his hand in the mouth of Keshi, right? He was like, you shut up, because he was so loud, right? So that's what Krishna also does for us, He brings us to circumstances that's like, you shut up, you have no idea. You be quiet, you be humble, you first learn, then you can say, So that's also how Krishna manages our demonic qualities. He helps us with giving them up. So when we study that, it can be very, very helpful for us. We have to really understand, okay, this I have still, this I have to get rid of. It requires, of course, honesty towards ourselves. And sometimes we think, oh, all good. That's the time when we should actually go to some other devotee and ask, okay, what do you think about me? But honestly. And then we may hear some stuff that we really don't like. Devotees can be painfully honest. But it would really help. I noticed that it helped me a lot to discover so many things in my heart when I was reading about these demons in Vrindavan, how Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes them. And there are some commentaries to that also. So this may really help. Okay. It's getting late, so. Granatramach Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai.